When I hear this quote about existence being an act of rebellion, there is one anime character that comes to mind.
Do you take us for idiots? We'd never trust food from someone like you.
Hey, look, apples!
On second thought, my first thoughts on Luffy is, who is this dumbass and how is he leading this crew? My thoughts now, who is this dumbass? Aren't that different? But I realize he's not just any idiot. He's one who has a moral compass better than any, is incredibly powerful but remains humble, and above all is truly the representation of freedom. Now, what is freedom? Anime's explored it tons of times. Luffy, Eren, Thorfinn have given 3 different answers to the same question. Some would say freedom is travel, others might say it's the goon to secret class. Really, freedom is rebellion. As Camus says, nearly all of these characters purely existing is a rebellion to their respective worlds. But what's interesting is how different that definition of freedom can be. In my opinion, one of the best is Luffy. And why? It's because his rebellion isn't anger. It isn't even domination, though he might act like it. It's joy. Yeah, this radiating ball of sunshine. Luffy has this innocence that shines brighter than the world's evils. One Piece doesn't show freedom as control. In fact, I'd argue the opposite. It shows freedom as a joy that spreads. Every Straw Hat joins because Luffy gives them space to be free. Zoro's dream, Nami's map, Sanji's sea, whatever Usopp's doing, they all bloom under Luffy's leadership. And the difference compared to someone who just speaks about freedom and joy is that Luffy actually lives it. He loses, he suffers, he's laughed at, but he never changes course. And that's what makes his freedom feel so real and so infectious. Now, on the complete other side, there's Eren Yeager. The guy who screamed freedom the loudest ended up being the most shackled of them all. Chained by his father's past, by titans, by destiny itself. And in chasing freedom, he strips it away from everyone else, including the people he loved the most. His rebellion turned into a genocide. His freedom consumed him. And you can't really blame him. Yeah, some of you are gonna hop on anime TikTok and make a tier list of dumbest characters and put Eren below the list. But Eren never had Luffy's luxury. I mean, yeah, Luffy had a deadbeat dad, but he had Shanks, a mentor who literally lost an arm to show him what freedom looked like. Eren had his mom eaten in front of him and got injected with Titantron. Not to say Luffy did not go through his own things, but Eren didn't even get to own his memories. So while Luffy's rebellion is infectious, Eren's is tragic. And a lot of people fail to see that both come from the same spark. While one builds, the other chose to destroy. And you can't really blame him for it. But what truly summarizes this journey of finding out what freedom really is Thorfinn from Vinland Saga.
Because I have no enemies.
The Viking boy who spent his childhood trying to stab a guy failed and then realized his whole life had been chains. Chained to revenge, chained to Askeladd, chained to violence. Even when he wasn't technically a slave, he was a prisoner of hate. But why didn't he become Eren? Well, he had time to grow out of it. Through farming, humility, and forgiveness, he discovered freedom isn't power. It isn't revenge, it's peace. The ability to live without enemies. If Luffy was born free and Eren was enslaved by freedom, then Thorfinn had to learn it. He went on the journey that Eren never got because, you know, he was busy killing 80% of the planet, but Thorfinn was able to embody turning the other cheek. I'm sure a lot of you have heard this saying and maybe a lot of you are still annoyed by it. I don't blame you, it seems like inaction at first sight, but there's some historical context that might change your mind. In the ancient world, if someone slapped you, they'd use the back of their right hand, a gesture meant to mark you as beneath them. But if you turned the other cheek, you forced them to either slap you with their left hand, which was socially shameful. I don't know why, I mean I'd slap you with both hands. Or hit you with the open palm, a strike reserved for equals. So turning the other cheek wasn't weakness nor inaction. It was rebellion by making the oppressor think. And that's what we can take away. I mean, how much violence is sparked from a lack of thought? It's typically because of some pain that we react emotionally. It may seem justified and even be justified. I mean, that's what makes Thorfinn and Eren so compelling in their revenge. But the person who loses the most in both of their cases is themselves. But here's the thing. While I might sound like Socrates and maybe be the next Plato, we talk about freedom like it's this ultimate human right. I mean, especially in America. But in modern life, most of us are chained, not by kings or dictators, but by stuff. There's a really good YouTube video by Professor Jiyoung where he explains how consumerism is modern day enslavement. And it might sound like an exaggeration, but think about it. We're told what to buy, what to want, even what counts as success. It's not shackles and swords like the older days, it's subscriptions and credit cards. We trade our time, our attention, even our joy for the next thing in our cart. It's not just about saying no to the world's cruelty, it's about saying no to the illusion of choice it sells us. And in a way, that's what all three of these characters did. Look, freedom varies on perspective. There are 3 worldviews in this video shaped in 3 different prisons. None of them are wrong, but each comes with a cost. But the one I think y'all should take away from the most is Luffy. His choice in spreading this relentless faith in himself while maintaining his morality did cost him a lot. He loses his brother, he starts a war with the world government, he probably has negative dollars in his bank account, but he doesn't give up. He does not decide on an ultimatum and avoids the path of revenge because he doesn't second guess his dream. The reason he leads the crew is obviously not because of intelligence, and it's not just because of power. It's because he's a symbol. The symbol of a spirit that pushes us forward, the spirit that raises those around him, and the spirit that reminds us that we do have a choice. I may be consumerism's final boss, I might be living according to the way others tell me to, but it's reminders like these that I need, that we need. People like Luffy, they have taught me that freedom truly comes from within.
おいお前誰だなんでサニー号に乗ってんだ
いえ、俺の船大工の師匠、トムの弟、ベンちゃんだ。船をコーティングし直してくれてる。
なんだ、そうか。フランキーの弟をコーティングする師匠か。
On second thought, that pretty much wraps up the video. Thank you guys to anyone who's made it this far. I noticed something in my last video with Gachiakta that I was just making the video because I thought it might get views. Also, I forgot to mention, but I love that you guys are so honest because I need brutal critique. I'm not asking for hate. I do not like hate. I know it happens regardless, but critique, and especially like if you guys aren't feeling an anime, say it. You do not have to agree with everything I say. In fact, I would be scared if you do. I knew it was popular. It is a good anime, don't get me wrong, but I don't want to be that channel, and I've mentioned this before, that just adds no value to the anime itself. I feel like that's what I did. I mean, sometimes, don't get me wrong, I'm just gonna go for entertaining videos that don't really talk about much, but for the most part, I want to make videos that actually talk about something, right? And this is one of those videos that I've wanted to make for a while. It was a bit ambitious, and it's kind of why it took a little bit to make it, but I think it was definitely worth making. And even though it might not do well, I mean, hopefully it does, probably won't, I'm still glad I made it, and I appreciate you guys who have stuck around. I say this a lot, but I genuinely mean it because I don't expect anybody to consistently watch my videos, especially when I'm not consistently uploading them. I mean, how can I expect that, right? But I see you guys that are around, and it reminds me honestly why I make the videos in the first place, right? It's because it's something I like to do, and it's also because it can connect me with some of the best people out there. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you're new here, I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave some comments down below. Yes, because it helps the algorithm, I think, but besides that, I mean, interacting with you guys has been my favorite part of this journey, and I've opened up the community tab. I don't think you could access that on laptops. I mean, I couldn't, but I did on my phone. So if you could somehow go through that and post some questions, concerns, memes, I don't know, whatever you want to post, feel free to. Yeah, and I might see you in the next one.